Heyo! This is just a quick update on one of the symbols that I used in my work recently. Um, so it's supposed to be a sickle, like for the harvest of the wheat from the Bible. So it's supposed to be a sickle blade with like a line that represents a piece of wheat, and that was my original idea behind it, but I didn't realize that it looks a lot like a satanic symbol that I didn't know existed. So I drew it and I thought it was a good thing, and then I ended up like accidentally running across this symbol that looked almost exactly like it, but it just had like a line or two added, and it was a satanic symbol. um, so I apologize for that. I didn't know how close it looked to something satanic, and I am not here for Satan. I'm here for God and for Jesus Christ. So I'm switching this symbol, and I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm going to use the revised version, and um, I don't support Satan. um, I'm not going to use satanic stuff in my work. Like, that's really important to me, and I'm very sorry that I accidentally used this symbol without really knowing how much it looks like with something of the enemy, like how similar it looked. So that's my bad. I take full responsibility for that. I'm sorry that I'm stuttering. My speech is not the best. Um, but I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and that's in the Bible. Go look that up. Uh, anyway, so the old version is too close to something satanic for me, so I'm switching it to a new version, and this is the new version. So again, it's a sickle blade harvesting a piece of wheat, but it's much more clear now what it is. And now it doesn't look similar to the satanic symbol that I accidentally stumbled upon. So this is supposed to be like a Christian symbol, and it's supposed to represent the harvest in the Bible and the gathering of the wheat in the field to God's storehouse or his barn. And in the Bible, it talks about the parable of the weeds and the wheat. So the wheat are God's people, and they're kind of planted in the field by God, but the weeds are planted by Satan, who's the enemy, and he comes in at night and he sows these weed seeds among the wheat. So all of these weeds pop up, and people are like, hey, what's going on? And the owner of the field says, oh, an enemy did this, but let them both grow together until the harvest, and then they'll be separated. So at harvest time, they're separated, and the weeds are burnt. Um, the weeds are thrown into a fire, they're gathered up and burnt, and the wheat go into the storehouse, and they're kept safe and they're saved. Um, and that's really a lot of symbolism for like darkness versus light, and the kingdom of God versus Satan's illegitimate attempt to claim God's throne. Like, legitimate in the sense that he actually thinks he can get somewhere, but illegitimate because, like, how dare he? Who does he think he is, you know? Um, so, with the wheat, it's supposed to represent God's people, and the harvesters are angels, and the storehouse or the barn where the wheat eventually ends up is heaven, where God's throne is. So it's all talking about like the gathering of God's people to God, and them being saved from eternal damnation and brought to heaven instead, and kept safe because the Father loves them. And, he put them there, he knows why each one of them are there, and he loves them. So that's what this symbol is supposed to represent. It's supposed to represent the salvation of God for his people, the bringing of God's people to himself, and then judgment upon evil by God, the righteous judge. So now I've made this symbol kind of to counteract the satanic one. The satanic one I think was called like the devil's sickle, but this is like God's harvest. So this is for God.